All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in today. My name is Zonzi, and I'm currently hosting the Polygon Discord AMA series. Today, we got a special guest, Adam from Algebra Finance. How are you doing today, Adam?
Hey, I'm fine. Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me today. It's a pleasure to be on the AMA with Polygon once again. Like we had a meeting with the five projects on Polygon yesterday. I think O3 was hosting it, and Polygon was there as well.
Yeah, awesome. It's great to have you. Thank you for being here. I think we should kick it off by doing a little introduction about yourself. For those of us that don't know you, why don't you tell us about a bit about your history, what you're doing before crypto, and what brought you into crypto, and what you've been doing since you got into it.
Yeah, sure. So once again, my name is Adam. Now I am a CMO at Algebra DEX, also a little bit of business developer. And I got fascinated by DeFi from beginning. Since then, I want to work in that sphere and develop as a professional. But originally, I was event manager. I was doing some different musical events, like some sport and huge city events. And then I decided, why not? Why not try myself at somewhere, somewhere interesting, something new, as DeFi. And since then, I have a dream to combine all my passions, these two spheres, events and DeFi, and to do something huge in the future. Maybe I will do it with Polygon, who knows?
Fantastic. I can actually relate to you on the event marketing. I used to do that as a part-time job back when I was in college for marketing. So that's pretty cool to know that we can relate on that level. Um, why don't you tell us a bit more about Algebra Finance? So when did you get started working with them? How long has Algebra Finance been in production for, and when did it go live?
Yeah, so I started working at Algebra almost a year ago, right after the launch. And I can say that I saw everything. I saw all these roads, um, everything that Algebra did, and all these developments. And when I started working, I was just a marketing manager, but I I kept. Um, but I became a CMO after like 6 months or so, and yeah, I started to do more business development stuff, so even some project manager stuff, you know, just to do more because and even now, all of my tasks are not enough for me, and I want to do something else, something better, and improve every day. And let me say a little about algebra. It is not a simple thing for average user because we use the concept of constrained liquidity that Uniswap presented. And of course, for everyday trader or just user, it is much simpler to go and swap the crypto, or to do a little liquidity providing on some version 2 DEXs. It is much simpler and not a headache choosing these pools that Uniswap presented. So I can say that algebra is mainly for people who know what they're doing, and we're also trying to teach people how to do that, how to use constrained liquidity and simplify that for them. That's why we have our adaptive fees technology, where you don't have to choose one of three pools like on Uniswap version 3, and this adaptive fee formula, it adapts obviously to the market, to the trading, to the TVL, volume, and so on.
Awesome. Yeah, perhaps we go more into that when we get around to the showcase side of things, if you want to screen share and showcase. But right now, I have a bit more questions. So, you guys are a team. How large is your team?
We have, I can say, about 6 or 7 developers who originally developed the code and did algebra. We have 2 founders who are also founders of Rubik Exchange and MyWish. And also we have marketing team of people and 2 business developers.
Cool. Yeah, that's really exciting. Did you want to dive into more about how your partnerships with Rubik and your other partnerships benefit the Algebra Finance platform?
Yeah, sure. First of all, we gained our audience thanks to Rubik, because when starting on market, it is important to build trust. And when you have founders of other successful projects, it is much easier to present it to the community, and this helps us grow as well. And the second thing is Rubik is an aggregator, so it uses our pools, liquidity pools, to as a source, of course, as an aggregator. But our main volume comes from 1 inch, not Rubik.
Okay, interesting. That's cool that you guys have partnered up with 1 inch. Frankie has a question. He's wondering what is the difference between concentrated liquidity and aggregated liquidity?
Sure. So as aggregate liquidity, as just version 2 liquidity that almost all DEXs have, they have the liquidity just spread on the full range, and it doesn't have that much profit. But in terms of constrained liquidity, we can adjust price ranges on the levels that we want to. It may be a little risky if we set it too tight, but if you know what you are doing, you as a liquidity provider, you'll be gaining much more from trades in this segment, in your price range. And as for aggregators, if they see that on Algebra there is pretty nice fees and pretty nice trading volume on this specific price range, they will route through Algebra, of course. We can also manually set these ranges and control our liquidity to make it more profitable for people.
Awesome. We got a question about the Algebra Finance logo, is it a? Do you know how the logo was conceptualized? Is it based off any other logos or?
No, to be honest, I wasn't in the very beginning while we had our logo development, but we are changing a lot of things on Algebra. Like, for example, we we updated our D app as well as our landing page, and I think we might update the logo as well. But I think, yeah, I think these triangles and everything is a math concept, because we are all about math in algebra, and we developed this unique adaptive fee formula. And yeah, our devs are math guys, so I think it comes from them.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The equilateral triangle with three equal sized triangles
Yeah.
within it. Yeah, for sure. Just so you guys know, there is a text channel called voice chat within the same category as this voice channel. So the Polygon Voices category, and all the questions are being asked in the voice chat text channel. Frankie's wondering your thoughts on new legislation trying to regulate DeFi, DAOs, and stablecoins.
Um, yeah, that not much about algebra, but still, I think after all that situation on the market, it is now important to, somehow regulate and do something to build a little trust around people. Of course, it's decentralized, the whole concept of decentralized, not to regulate and not to do something like that. But anyway, I think it will be a little more safer if they do something like that.
All right, so a question I've got for you is you guys are only deployed on Polygon right now, correct? And why did you guys
Yeah, yeah.
choose to go with deploying on Polygon as opposed to another chain?
Yeah, so when starting out, first of all, we saw potential that Polygon has, and decided to go for it. We received development grant from Polygon that helped us with the launch. Secondly, we wanted to test our code and algorithms. With the low fees, Polygon became the choice. And the most important part is that Polygon gave us their support and helped us a lot with its community and with marketing stuff. So yeah, I think it just our founders also have some great connections with Polygon, and it was obvious that we will go there.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's great to hear that Polygon is very accessible and supportive of people building. Um, so I know there's a lot of other dexes within the space. I'm wondering, who do you see as your main competitors, and what sets you apart from them? How do you differentiate yourself?
Yeah. First of all, there are two kinds of competitors. The Uniswap version 3 as a constrained liquidity concept. They also developed on Polygon not so long time ago. And some dexes that have trust and been on the market for a long time. like QuickSwap or SushiSwap. And let's start with Uniswap version 3 as a concentrated liquidity concept. As I said before, we have our own unique formula. I don't know if you are quite familiar with concentrated liquidity on Polygon, but it has 3 different pools that you can choose where to put your liquidity. And it has different type of risk and profit as well. And on Algebra, there's only one pool, so you don't need to think twice and to do some more research. You just only need to choose the right price range that you want to do and go for it. So let's speak more about version 2 DEXs. As I said, QuickSwap and SushiSwap are our main competitors. As for DEX, we faced that it is almost impossible to beat somebody with that high liquidity. But besides that, when we had around 400,000 worth of liquidity on Polygon in Matic, 1inch exported our volumes, and our volume on Matic was like 1.5 times higher than our total volume locked in Matic. And I think that shows how the constrained liquidity algorithms are working, and I can say it was a test for us. And I'm sure that if we will have much more liquidity, let's say like 1 or 2 millions for the start, just in Matic, I think we will take a great piece of the Matic market.
Fantastic. So we got a couple people asking. I feel like you may have already touched on this a little bit when you were talking about the logo design, but people are wondering why you chose to go with the name Algebra Finance.
I'm not really sure too, because it will be more obvious with these triangles to name it geometry or something like that. But as I said before, it all comes to our developed formula. And yeah, I think that's our main concept. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's a good name. I like it. It's catchy. It's
Thank you.
memorable. We got a really good question here. So the Yash mentions in your roadmap, you guys talk about expanding to other blockchains beyond Polygon. He's wondering if you could elaborate on that plan a bit, like what chains you might be looking at and why.
Yeah, so when we are starting out, we thought about moving to BNB chain as well, but we decided to stay with Polygon for a little longer, just on Polygon, and see how it goes, see how people will use our technology and our D app for liquidity providing, for farming, for swapping. Yeah, we have our plans to go to some other chain. It might be the new chain, the young chain, or the huge chain like BNB chain. But for sure, we will do it with liquidity on our app, just to compete with all the DEXs on the market. But it is too early to say about some concrete blockchains. because we are now passing the audit to build more trust, to verify people that they can put their liquidity on Algebra and it's safe.
That's good. I think it's always better to be safe rather than sorry. So that's a really good direction to take things in. The next two questions we got are regarding what kind of rewards you offer and if your DApp is ready yet for public usage. So I'm wondering if maybe now it's a good time to go into like a little screen share showcase demonstration to answer those.
Yeah, sure. Let me just quickly do that. Can you see something? Is it live?
Yeah, it's just loading in for me. I don't.
I can try to share the whole screen, not
Yeah,
just...
that might work better.
Yeah, let me just quickly do that.
And yeah, guys, we're asking questions are being asked in the voice chat text channel. It's in the same category as this voice chat channel, so the Polygon Voices category. There's going to be some prizes for best questions asked, so make sure you ask your best questions. Yeah, we're just asking them in the text channel to avoid the chaos that would ensue if everyone was all unmuting their microphones.
Yeah. So, can you see that now? Let me just quickly... Yeah, now?
It's loading.
Okay, let me also... So I can't share the whole screen. I don't know why. It just keeps dropping me out of the screen share. Yeah, let me answer one more question while I'm launching my PC. Maybe the problem is on the Mac. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. No worries. So I see you already got a audit in from Hack and Audit. Frankie is wondering, you mentioned you're going through another audit. So Frankie's wondering what company are you using for audits and why the audits are so important.
Yeah, I don't think I can reveal the audit company right now because it is a secret. But I can assure that it is some huge audit company that audited some big DEXs. Yeah, I'm not sure that I can answer that now.
Yeah, no worries. That's totally understandable. I noticed here that you guys have a tier system. So there's like the no tier, bachelor, master, and professor. Would you want to talk about more about how the tier system works?
Yeah, so the tier system originally it was for farming, and when farming, you can choose three different tiers based on the amount of asset you are holding. Usually it is LGB token, but it can be any crypto. For example, not so long ago, we have set up a joint farming event with the ChiDAO protocol. To participate, users needed to provide liquidity to Chi Vimatic pair. To boost your liquidity, they provided they had the chance to approve that they hold the Chi tokens, making them increase their income. So how does it work? If you have, for example, 1 million LGB tokens, you're participating in the farming event, not with, for example, 100,000 liquidity, but 150,000 worth of liquidity. So it is just increasing your liquidity. And for the community part, we also have our tiers on Discord, for example, and all the tiered users, they are able to participate in governance, and their high ranks are able to get more exclusive info and to stay in the close touch with us.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I had another question about governance. So, I'm not sure where you're at in your development journey regarding governance, but do you have any idea of what that is going to look like when that goes live?
Yeah, for now, we have our first steps in governance. So I can say we're just testing that out. And that's why we deployed it only on Discord server. But in the future, I'm planning to expand this to the, for example, to Snapshot, to make it more, organized for people. And after that, I think we will have fully launched and working governance on our app, so people can use LGB tokens to vote and to participate in different activities with them. So yes, I think I got it working. Let me just join quickly with my other computer. Just a second. Hello.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Can you see it now?
Yeah, it looks great. 1080p, 60 FPS. Awesome.
Yeah, great. So let me just quickly connect to MetaMask. So here's the app where you can swap, put your liquidity, farm, stake, and also the info page. And let's start with liquidity. Not so long time ago, it was like 2 weeks ago, we updated the adding liquidity part. As I said, we are improving every day and making consent liquidity more obvious to people. And I can say we're teaching them how to use it. And before, it was just a chaotic piece of information, and it was not that obvious how to use it, how to put your liquidity. And we did it like the step part, where you can, for example, select a pair. Let's say it will be USDC with Matic, and you have to just select the range next. And this is how consent liquidity works. So you have to set the right range that you want to go with. Let's say it will be expert. Yeah, and as you can see, the risk might be high, but the profit is also high. Uh, it's because you're earning all the fees are coming from that price range. Yeah, so let's do it like that and enter the amount. For example, one matic. Yeah, and it will be. You can also uh, adjust a little your ratio on the next step to make it um, more unique for you. And as with um, Uniswap version 3, you will get a special liquidity pool token that you can use to participate, for example, in farming. Yeah, I think that's it for liquidity providing.
Yeah, so Ram Prabhu was wondering about, he's saying like the risk to reward ratio is what really drives people to DeFi products, and he was wondering about if you could elaborate on the lowest. You guys advertise the lowest impermanent loss on your front page, so I guess we're wondering like, is what you just displayed to us right now, would that be how you guys achieve that?
Uh, yeah, so for the lowest impairment loss, first of all, it is adaptive fees, what I mentioned. Um, as for Uniswap version 3, you have three different pools, and these pools are hard to predict where to put your liquidity, and the risk is too high. And for example, on Algebra, the the fees are adaptive, and it is it has no that stable concept like Uniswap, and it will adapt to the situation on the market. So we're reducing impairment loss, first of all, thanks to that. And secondly, we have our farming system with farmings almost every month and high APRs. It can be like from 20% to, I don't know, 1,000% even. We had a couple like that. And yeah, I think that's it. So the adaptive fees helps us with that.
So a question Frankie is asking. He's wondering how long you need to stake without paying a fee to unstake. Do you guys have any fees or lockups regarding staking?
Uh, so the staking we have with LGB token, um, I'm not sure that we have any jumping fees, but I can say that it will be almost every time 15% APR on the staking, and yeah, we're trying to keep it on that level, and every holder is able to stake their algebra liquidity. And for the staking part, we have a lot of um, we have balance increasing almost every day. People staking it like as you can see widely, starting from 20 20 million to almost 100 million. And as you can see, as I said before, the API is almost 15% every time. It has some spikes. It can be like lowered to 3%, but the next day it will be 27% again.
Sweet. And there's no lockup durations or early withdrawal penalties for staking?
Only you're unable to unstake your LGB tokens for 30 minutes only. But after, you're free to do whatever you want with this staked LGB. And also, all these LGB that you have for staking, all your staking rewards are restaking automatically, so you don't have to do anything else. It just keeps going and going and going and increasing your liquidity.
Awesome. Thank you. I guess I'm going to ask the same question about providing liquidity. There's no early withdrawal fees or minimum lockups for providing LPs?
No, you just have to pay the gas for the gas. That's it. And choose the right range that you want to go with, and have the right amount of assets on your wallet as well. Um, yeah, and I also want to add that, of course, you can't escape the impairment loss if you set the range too tight, like, like 2 ticks or 3 ticks away from the current price. So yeah, considered liquidity is for those, uh, first of all, who want to earn more with their liquidity, and the risk is appreciated, but you have to understand that it might just drop you out in a second if you are setting it too high, because the market is unpredictable for the most of part, but it is not impossible um, not to predict it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the clarification on that. If you want to go more into the different like LP providing strategies, that'd be cool. And I'm also wondering, what are all the tokens you guys list by default?
So by default, we have, of course, Matic. And as you can see, it is mainly our partners that we collaborated with, as I mentioned before, Chidao with its farming events. And by the way, it is important to mention that we reward our users on farming events with stable coins. Like with Chidao, it was May, and for the 2 or 3 past farming events on Algebra, it was USDC. Yeah, that's it for this question.
Awesome. Yeah, so just quick reminder, guys, if you're trying to ask some questions, just drop them in the voice chat text channel. It's like 2 channels up from this voice channel in the Polygon Voices category.
Uh, yeah, and here's also the info page. As you can see, the liquidity total volume locked is became pretty low because of all of the situation on the market and every asset dropping in price. But anyway, I think we're still holding pretty good due to exported volumes from 1inch. And as for Matic, I don't know if I can do that. Let me just, yeah. So as you can see, it is what I said before. Like we had a huge amount of Matic in volume once we had enough liquidity. So yeah, that's it. And you can also check the APRs on every pool. So if the volume is pretty high and as well as total volume locked, the APR will be for Matic can be 200% or even higher. It all depends on the today's statistics. Yeah, and it changes almost, I think, every hour.
Awesome. So we got another few questions coming in. I think I'm gonna. So Lloyd is wondering how to best get started with Algebra Finance, what the benefits of participating in algebra products and services are. Maybe you just want to do a quick recap of like the unique selling proposition of you guys. Just
Yeah, yeah. Um, so first of all is liquidity pools that you can use your liquidity to work even harder than on average DEXs, and it is much simpler to do so and to become a liquidity provider on Algebra than on Uniswap version 3, because you don't have to choose the different pools and different uh, fees. Yeah, thanks to our adaptive fees model, uh, you have only just to choose the right price range, and and your liquidity will work much effective than on other DEXs. And it's obvious because you're not spreading it to the whole range, but you're minimizing it to the specific area where you will be able to get trading fees from. Yeah, so your liquidity works much more effective. And the second reason is that with farming system, uh, you are able to participate in two different types of farmings and earn stable coins as the rewards from them, and increase your liquidity as well if you are an LGB holder.
fantastic. Thanks for going over that again. Really appreciate it. I got a new question coming in from Reliano. Reliano points out that projects are continuously attacked by hackers and exploiters. So he's wondering what you guys do to mitigate the risk of being exploited. Like I know you mentioned audits. Do you have any oracles that you're using? Um,
So yeah, I think we are using something because first of all, it's not our first project, and we have two different projects, Rubik and My Wish, and our developers and our founders uh, are pretty trusted on the market, and That's why we're improving and increasing our security levels. Uh, and the first step is to get this audit by the huge company, and to build more trust around the market, to build more trust with the liquidity providers, because no one wants to give their liquidity uh, on the unverified code, unverified protocol. And I think we might have some oracles and some other security measures in the future as well after the audit.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely think you guys are on the right direction. It's great that you're gonna get a audit from a big auditing firm to establish more trust. Um, I'm just gonna check here for if there's any other questions coming in. Um, so yeah, I guess it's another repeat question, but that's okay. If you want to just quickly touch on why you guys decided to build on Polygon again, and that'd be great. This is for those who might have missed it.
Yeah, okay. We love Polygon, and the gas is pretty cheap for all the users. If there is not any, NFT activity going on, and yeah, we wanted to test our code first, and Polygon is the best place to do so, with its support and trust as well. Um, and Polygon helped us with a lot with its community and development grant. Uh, that's why we decided to go for it. And they helped us with the launch as well. Hello.
Do you, as a blockchain practitioner, do you think it's a great time to join Algebra Finance? What advice do you have for average users looking to get involved with Algebra Finance?
Uh, yeah, so algebra is not that easy to explore and to do something in terms of liquidity providing. But if you love something new, and if you're liquidity provider with huge amount of money, like and want to do something with that, you can go to Algebra and become a liquidity provider to make your liquidity work more efficiently. And to do so, you can join our community. We are teaching users every day and helping them to understand the liquidity providing correctly and the constellate liquidity mechanics, because it is pretty new to the market. And people now are unaware what to do with their liquidity. And I think that in the future it will replace the version 2 dexes, and become it and it will be the new era for liquidity providing for dexes and for DeFi.
Awesome, awesome. Got a lot of questions coming in here. Just trying to pick the best ones out. Um, I guess a really good one to ask would be, what are your goals what are Algebra Finance's goals? Where do you guys see yourself in the short term, medium term, long term? Like, what is the long term vision of Algebra Finance?
Yeah, so our main goal uh, is to keep improving our um, our platform, our liquidity providing system, and to help users earn more. That's our main goal, and we want to do it not only on Polygon but on other blockchains too. Um, and for example, we have our version 2 coming up, uh, and with this, uh, we have updated almost everything, starting from UX and UI for liquidity providing. So it's much easier for a new user to navigate themselves through algebra. Um, and we, as I said, updated our farming system and added the multi-level farming to increase your liquidity holding the certain token. And we are considering the option of changing the fee calculating formula for traders. With such update, the commissions will be lowered depending on the amount one swaps. Um, like for example, if you want to swap not that high amount of tokens, um, your commission will be lowered um, to make you feel uh, more, yeah, to make you feel more comfortably, I can say. Yeah, so it helps small traders as well, so you don't have to overpay. um, so that's all I can share with you for now.
Yeah, for
uh,
sure.
yeah.
It's definitely good to point out that small trade. It doesn't matter if you're a big trader or a small trader. Someone with like only a little bit of capital, you're still able to benefit from
Yeah,
utilizing the
yeah.
Algebra Finance ecosystem. We had someone asking a question about that. Um, what would you say the biggest, like, I understand you guys just launched in early last year. What would your biggest achievements be so far? What are you most proud of?
uh, we proud that our code and everything that we built is working correctly and has almost no problems with it. And to verify that, to show that to people, that's why we're passing now the audit. And yeah, I think the great achievement is that we launched and that we gained some attention on the market and some trust, uh, as well as some reputation. Um, and we will keep improving everything to make algebra more useful and more user friendly platform for people. I can say one stop consider Liquidity DEX, where you can do almost everything, and you then don't have to go to some other protocol and some other the app.
Awesome, awesome. I think it's good. Yeah, I think we're okay to wrap this up in a couple of minutes. You've been a wonderful guest. You've dropped a lot of knowledge on us, lots of information, really thorough and in-depth answers. I'm gonna share some of your links in the voice chat text channel in case anybody would want to follow up with you guys afterwards. Um,
Yeah, thank you.
drop them in here. And yeah, if there's any last minute questions coming in, we could try to get them answered quick. And if we don't get around to answering your question, I'll try to answer it myself if I can. But looking over the questions here, I think you did a really good job on touching it on every point. So
Yeah, I think you can all just try with the liquidity and pull even $10 on Algebra, because there is no starting point. And to see how your liquidity works, and to experiment with it, set even small ranges, because once I participated in the farming event and set my range too tight with only $1, and I had almost the best APR from this farming event.
all right, Delwyn, I think you'll probably be the last question that we have time for. So just a quick recap on 1 to 3 killer features of the Algebra Finance that really separates it apart from its competitors, and what you guys' unique selling proposition is.
Yeah, so I think I already mentioned that, but first of all, it is considered liquidity, and there is not a lot of DEXs of this kind on the market. Only Uniswap, Algebra, and maybe some little ones, but I know some big DeFi projects are creating their considered liquidity as well, and we will see them coming out on the market pretty soon. Secondly, we have our adaptive fees, so you don't have to think twice, and the formula doing everything for you, and you just setting the right range. And yeah, and the third one is increasing your liquidity in farming events and farming events in common, with pretty high APRs and rewards in stable coins. So don't meet them as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adam. I really appreciate you coming in here today, answering all our questions, being patient with us, and really thoroughly diving into things, providing such great, in depth, and elaborate answers.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me today. It is always a pleasure to come and join Polygon on different events like this for the community.
It
So,
was a pleasure having you. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. If you ever want to come back again in future, you're certainly always welcome to do so. We would love to follow up and stay up to date with your development journey. So,
so thank you. Bye bye, everyone.
bye everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you all have a wonderful day or evening, and a awesome weekend. And that wraps things up. I'm gonna end the event. Cheers, everybody.